Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been paying any attention at all to the modern workspace, you've definitely felt the shift. We are right in the middle of a massive structural disruption that is literally rewiring the global economy. And let's be clear up front, this isn't just about some cool new app or a fleeting tech trend. No, we are talking about the deep, institutional adoption of artificial intelligence. So today, we're going to break down exactly why AI literacy is no longer just a fun, nice-to-have skill. It is absolutely the new professional baseline. We're going to dive into the hard data, look at some real-world applications, and give you a super precise roadmap to future-proof your own career. Let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around the sheer magnitude of this shift, we have to look at the money. The scale of capital being deployed right now is just staggering. Global enterprise spending on AI, it's projected to cross the $1 trillion mark by 2030. $1 trillion. And with 40% of enterprises already baking AI into their core operations, the new standard is being set as we speak. The stakes have literally never been higher, and companies are going all in on building out this new infrastructure. And you know what that massive influx of capital means, right? Jobs. It translates directly into huge human opportunity. AI-related jobs are currently projected to grow by 69%. Just to put that into perspective for a second, that is nearly 8 times faster than the overall job market average, which is sitting at a pretty sluggish 9%. We are rapidly moving toward an augmented workforce, and the demand for people who actually understand how to collaborate with AI is just skyrocketing. But here's the absolute kicker. This isn't just about creating new job titles. It's about fundamentally transforming how we create value. These superstar AI companies, the ones that have really figured out how to integrate these tools into their daily workflows, they have seen a mind-blowing 163% growth in labor productivity since 2018. Their return on investment for top-tier AI projects is hovering around 13%, which is double the industry average. They aren't just doing slightly better, they are completely pulling away from the pack. Section 1. The AI boom is here. So the gap between average performance and elite performance, it's widening into this massive chasm. Just look at that accelerating curve. That curve represents the AI-exposed firms and the individuals who are actively offloading their repetitive, routine tasks to AI. By letting the machines do the grunt work, they're jumping from being basic task executors to high-value strategists. Meanwhile, average companies and workers who are clinging to the old way of doing things, they're stuck on the flat line. If you can learn to work smarter with AI, you position yourself right on that accelerating curve. Section 2. Real-world industry impact. So what does this actually look like on the ground? How is this driving measurable results across foundational industries right now? Well, the breakdown is fascinating. Take finance, for example. One single large bank deployed machine learning just for fraud detection and saved $20 million annually. Boom, just like that. In healthcare, a massive 85% of leaders are already rolling out generative AI to streamline clinical trials and speed up diagnoses. They're expecting a 5 to 10% productivity boost in just 5 years. In agriculture, machine learning is optimizing crop yields in a way that's projected to unlock $250 billion in annual value. The impact is absolutely everywhere. But hey, it's not all just heavy industry and data crunching. We're seeing the true democratization of creativity. Generative AI is letting non-specialists rapidly prototype and execute professional-grade ideas at a massive scale. Think about retail. Brands using AI to personalize marketing and generate custom creative assets in real time are seeing a 47% bump in revenue. Their click-through rates are soaring 40 to 50% higher. When you've got tools like DALL-E 2, where over 3 million users are generating 4 million assets every single day, it proves one thing for sure. Executing brilliant ideas is no longer a VIP club just for technical specialists. Section 3. Lucrative AI career pathways. All right, let's talk about the direct financial incentives for you, because companies are actively hunting for AI-literate professionals across literally every department, and they are paying massive wage premiums, an average of 62% more for verified AI skills. Let's look at the median U.S. salaries. A foundational data analyst sits around $85,000. A machine learning engineer, which requires some pretty deep software architecture skills, pulls in about $160,000. But check out the middle path, the prompt engineer at $126,000. The takeaway here, you absolutely do not have to be a back-end coder with a computer science degree to capture this value. We are ushering in the era of the new AI whisperers. While the engineers are busy building the underlying models, these essential data translators are the ones actually directing them. Roles like prompt engineering are entirely focused on language, communication, and refining inputs so that these massive language models spit out highly accurate results. And honestly, this makes the field incredibly welcoming to professionals from liberal arts, marketing, or business backgrounds. If you excel at critical thinking and human judgment, there is a huge place for you here. Section 4. Debunking common AI myths. Okay, before we lay out your actual learning path, we need to clear the air and tackle some of this AI anxiety head-on. First up is the classic myth. AI is a zero-sum game that's going to steal all human jobs. Well, the data tells a completely different story. It's actually all about job transformation and human augmentation. Firms that are heavily exposed to AI are actually scaling up and growing their headcounts 52% faster than companies ignoring the tech. The real focus right now is on net job creation, prioritizing human judgment over the routine, boring stuff that's easily automated. And the second biggest myth, that it's too late to start, or that AI is this exclusive club strictly for math geniuses. Actually, scratch that. It couldn't be further from the truth. Thanks to the explosion of no-code tools and incredibly intuitive intro courses, you really only need a basic high school level of math to get your foot in the door. In fact, fresh learners are consistently outpacing industry veterans in adopting these new AI workflows. Why? Because they don't have decades of legacy habits they have to unlearn. Seriously, if you can communicate clearly, you can master this. Section 5. Your 6-month learning roadmap. So how do you actually go from a total beginner to a highly paid professional? Well, mastery requires building a sequential skill stack. It's like a giant puzzle. You start with a border. Months 1 through 3 are all about your foundation: Python programming, basic statistics, and core logic. Months 4 through 6 push you into intermediate territory with machine learning and neural networks. And then months 7 through 12, that's where the magic happens. You specialize. You dive into natural language processing, computer vision, and building out a real portfolio of capstone projects. It is a very deliberate, step-by-step journey. And the best part is that this realistic roadmap lines up perfectly with some amazing high-value resources you can literally start using today. Programs like Harvard's CS50 or Coursera's AI for Everyone fit seamlessly right into that foundational phase. From there, you can easily bridge over to Andrew Ng's deep learning specializations as you hit that intermediate phase. You don't have to guess what you should be learning next. The entire path, from basic foundational logic all the way to real-world deployment, has already been charted out for you. As you progress, you'll naturally start building out your modern toolkit. You'll start with free, open-source data libraries like Pandas and NumPy, using Python as your go-to language. Then, as your projects get more complex, you'll graduate into modeling frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch. Eventually, you'll be deploying your projects straight into professional cloud environments and playing around with powerful APIs like OpenAI's GPT models or AWS SageMaker. Section 6. Building responsible AI systems. Now, true mastery of AI isn't just about the technical execution. It's heavily about the ethics of what you are actually building. And that brings us to the concept of the human in the loop. This architecture is absolutely crucial. When an algorithm processes complex data, especially in high-stakes fields like healthcare, the legal system, or even hiring, it has to pass through a human oversight gate. The AI makes a recommendation, sure, but a human ultimately validates it and makes the final call. That is how we mitigate bias and ensure things are executed safely. Understanding these ethical frameworks, that is honestly what differentiates a good developer from a truly great one. Building trustworthy systems means you have to align with global compliance. You have to actively work to mitigate training bias, guarantee strict data privacy under regulations like GDPR, be totally transparent about how your models are weighted, and adhere to human accountability frameworks like the UNESCO AI ethics guidelines. And that entire process feeds perfectly into the responsible AI flywheel. When you nail the technical execution, embed those strong ethical frameworks, and use them to drive massive ROI for an industry, you ultimately improve outcomes for society as a whole, whether that means accelerating life-saving healthcare or making creative tools accessible to everyone. The true value of learning AI goes way beyond just your personal wealth. You are actively helping shape the future infrastructure of human work. I want to leave you with this thought from our sources today, which I just think is incredibly empowering. The future does not belong to the machines. It belongs to the professionals who know how to direct them. Staying relevant in this era requires a highly fluid mindset. You need that willingness to learn and the confidence to step up and take that director's chair. So here's my direct challenge to you as we wrap up. Take a hard look at your day-to-day. How are you going to integrate just one AI tool into your professional workflow this week?
Maybe it's automating a tedious spreadsheet, drafting a tricky email, or quickly prototyping a new design. Whatever it is, start your upskilling journey today. Be the professional who directs the future. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.